Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We are about to get started in just a couple minutes, but I did want everyone to know that to check out the chat box, maybe introduce yourself, say where you are, grab some water or whatever you need for the next hour because we're about to buckle in and get down to some fun stuff. But I'm going to get started either right at noon, which is my time, or a few minutes after to allow people to trickle in, but excited to get going. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. If you don't know me, my name is Tasha, and I am so excited. This is the first time I've done a webinar, not ever. I did it for my job, but for my program and just for my community. So I'm so excited that you are here, whether you're joining us live right now or you're going to be tuning into the recording later. I just appreciate you taking the time and space, and I'm excited to share with you the 3 steps that you need to have a symptom-free cycle and sustainable weight loss. And it's going to be a whirlwind of an hour. We're going to go over a lot of information, but really you will leave today understanding how to become, symptom-free, how to support your cycle, how to lose weight, how to get the body of your dreams, all without restrictive dieting, Band-Aid solutions, and gimmicks. And we're really going to I'm going to give you the education to be able to break away from that. Just a little background, you are in Zoom webinar right now. So I can't see your face. You don't maybe have the same capacities as you would if it was a Zoom meeting, but please utilize the chat box at any time during the presentation to ask questions, especially because I'm going to kind of go through everything at once and then answer the questions at the end. So drop your question in there as it comes to you, and then I'll be sure to answer that. And then, yes, this webinar is being recorded, and we will be sending out the link to the recording after the webinar to everyone who's registered. So if you have crazy internet connection, or if you're only able to stay for 30 minutes, still join, and then you'll be able to catch up afterwards. So excited. Let's do this. Oop. So you are in the right place right now, and you are going to have the best hour if you really want to get rid of your PMS symptoms or your disruptive cycles without hormonal birth control, or even if you are maybe in menopause or postpartum, prenatal, and you really want to support your hormones, and you want to be able to do so without gimmicks. You're definitely in the right place if you want to be able to learn how to lose weight and nourish your body without restrictive dieting and without some of the crazy and preposterous things that people recommend. You're in the right place if you want to be able to get the body of your dreams without spending countless hours in the gym. And even worse, going to the gym and then your symptoms getting worse because your body wasn't necessarily in the right place to work out, which happens. You're in the right place if you want the energy to power through your day without needing copious amounts of caffeine or taking naps all the time. I used to be a napaholic. I still love them, but don't need them anymore. And then you're really in the right place if you want to be able to take control of your health and you want to be able to know how to do so and support your body for life. And this is my promise to you. And this is what we're going to walk away with from in the next hour. And really what you're going to learn today are my 3 secret components to be able to get that symptom-free cycle, to get that life that I just described, all without the gimmicks, all without the confusion, all without the noise that you see on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, Google. Gosh, I don't even know where people get some of their diet advice anymore. And the 3 secrets that we're really going to dive into is, understanding how to get to the root cause. how to utilize nutrition and how to utilize fitness in the appropriate way so that you are no longer struggling with symptoms and you are no longer confused. And it's going to be a hefty amount of information and we're going to go through a lot, but I'm so respectful of your time and I'm so appreciative of your time that I want to make sure that you get everything that you need in this session today. And I'm sure this sounds like you, right? You dream of being able to ditch your symptoms, but you're a little unsure how, or every solution that you've tried, like even birth controls or things like that, have made it only worse. You want to be able to lose weight and, more importantly, love your body. No more hating your body because it's not the ideal aesthetic that diet culture has defined for this decade. No more comparison to somebody else because you wish you were a certain way, but really loving your body, right? You're tired and hopeless and feeling a little frustrated in your journey. And what's even worse is you're looking around you and noticing that maybe other women seem to be living symptom-free, seem to be having no issue with weight loss at all, and you can't figure out what makes you different, and that's frustrating. And you're struggling to break free from toxic diet culture and really struggling to break free of some of these mindsets that maybe have held you back or that you know are wrong, but you don't really know how to get out of them. And then finally, you have a vision for your health, but you keep getting stuck. Does this sound like you? Because you want to know the truth is it's not your fault that you ended up that way. And I really want to drive that point home, is that where you are at today is not your fault. And the reality is, the real problem is that 99% of nutrition and fitness programs that are out there, that are available in all the vast modalities of places you can get information, do not account for two extremely important aspects. And I cannot drive this point home enough. The first aspect that they fail to account for is that women have unique hormonal needs, and that a woman's hormone cycle is vastly different than a man's. For example, a men's hormonal cycle is 24 hours and primarily includes 2 hormones. A women's hormone cycle is 28 days. It has 4 phases and it fluctuates between at least 5 different prominent hormones. So your hormonal needs and fluctuations that happen on a daily and monthly basis directly impact every single aspect of your life, including how you feel, your energy, your mental status and capacity, ability to work, ability to socialize, everything. So that's factor number 1 that they're failing to account for. The second, and just as important, is that on top of that unique hormonal setup that you have as a woman, you are also unique. Your lived experiences, your trauma, your environment, the diets that you took on as a kid or even as a young adult, every part of your life has formed you into the person that you are today and has impacted your system and hormonal function in your body and your health. And so you have unique needs that need to be addressed. And whatever worked for your friend Becky from HR isn't going to work for you. And whatever diet that neighbor Kathy or Karen had maybe isn't right for you because it doesn't account for your unique needs. And it surely doesn't even go deeper and account for your hormonal status and how those needs have impacted that. But first, I want to take a moment of pause and, say, why should you listen to me? Why is this girl talking? What does she know? Maybe some of you know me from Instagram and that's how you got connected and we've communicated there. I know some of you have joined the challenge that we had recently and that was amazing. Some of you probably have no idea who I am. So I wanted to just take a moment and be like, why should you listen to me? Why am I talking about this? Why is this a passion of mine? So my name is Tasha. I am a clinical nutritionist, but more importantly than that, I have been exactly where you've been before, and I know exactly how you feel. And I'm not just saying that to say that. Truly, it's been a journey. I have and I live with 5 autoimmune diseases. However, it took me at least 10 years to be able to get answers from my physicians I was to the point where at the age of 23, I didn't have an option. Not only did I want to live symptom free, but I had no option other than to start looking outside what people have prescribed me and offered me to manage my conditions, because I was slowly dying at the age of 23. And that's absolutely not okay. And I knew that that wasn't all right. And I knew that I wasn't getting the support that I needed from my providers. I wasn't getting the support that I needed from registered dietitians that I collaborated with. And I knew at some level, not only the education that I had been taught in my clinical nutrition, degree and in the workforce wasn't appropriate anymore, but also I personally struggled with some toxic diet culture brainwashing over the course of my lifetime. So I understand that. And I have to tell you, I tried everything over the course of those 10 years, trying to get a diagnosis, trying to understand how to manage my symptoms. I tried every supplement possible. At one point, I think I was taking 50 different supplements at a time. I tried intermittent fasting. I tried every single diet that had been researched under the book. I even got so desperate in such a place of hating my own body that I tried diet pills and extreme caloric restriction. And you want to know what happened? I gained 30 pounds in 1 month. And I felt worse than before. And this is the insane part, right? So when I was first diagnosed at the age of 20 with my first autoimmune disease, I was so sick I couldn't get off the couch. I had gone from 130 pounds to 90 pounds, and I was literally couldn't keep food down. Got some Band-Aid solutions. By the age of 23, I had gotten myself up to a healthy weight, but then I started gradually gaining weight, 130 to 140. And then literally the course of 1 month, I gained 30 pounds. I went from 140 to 170 at 5'3", not a big girl. I'm not like tall. And I went to my provider, and guess what he said? It's normal for a woman of your age to gain 30 pounds in a month. Is it normal, sir? Is it normal? And I felt worse than before. And nothing I had tried was working. I couldn't wrap my head around why the nutrition interventions that I had learned and that I had known been used in, clinical applications to be able to support disease states weren't working. And I was like, okay, this is enough. I'm calling BS, and there has to be an answer. And I know something's going on with my hormones, and I know something's going on with my body, and I'm going to dig deeper, and I'm going to dig for the research, and I'm going to do and go where no physician is ever supporting me to go, because I want answers. And you know what? I'm so grateful I did, because when I had made that choice at 23, that I said, enough is enough. I know that there is something deeper. I have the education and I have the expertise to be able to dig and dive deeper. And I have the lived experience to be motivated to do so. It changed my life, because by the time I was 23 and in the workforce, I was paralyzed by my symptoms. I was paralyzed by debilitating anxiety, literally to the point where I was breaking down at work, or I was calling in every single day because I couldn't go to work or I couldn't leave my couch. And this impacted my friendships, my job, relationships, my sanity, right? And now I'm to a point, 6 years later, right, where I have finally learned how to manage my symptoms. I'm so grateful to say that I manage all 5 of my autoimmune diseases 100% through nutrition and fitness alone. And I live symptom-free. And when I do have a symptom, I know exactly how to support it. And I've done all of this without restricting foods, without stopping the things that I love. Like, yes, I drink. Yes, I eat cake. Yes, I do all of that. And I've been able to enjoy life to the fullest. And while it was the toughest journey of my life, right, and there were moments that probably broke me in many ways, I'm grateful for it, because since then I have been able to support hundreds, I'm actually close to the thousands now, of women in becoming experts at understanding their own hormone cycles, understanding the exact root of their issues and how they can support their body and regain control of their health, all the while shifting their focus on healing and understanding how to nourish their body. And then, wow, the aesthetic goals just come with it. And I'm even grateful to say at this point, if you don't know me and if you don't follow me on Instagram, This is my husband, Curtis. We are actually 28 weeks pregnant with our first daughter. She's due in August. And living with 5 autoimmune diseases. Guess what? Every doctor told me that I was going to have troubles with fertility. Every doctor told me that I'd be lucky if I got pregnant. And we pulled the goalie, and literally the first time that it could have happened, it did. And it's been, I mean, not easy. I got a lot of sickness, but I'm so grateful for that. And I know that's because I nourished my body. And I'm so appreciative of this journey and appreciative of to be able to support you all. So with that, I'm going to dive into it. And this is where we're going to get into the nitty gritty, y'all. I'm going to give you the 3 big secrets that I learned and that I now use with my clients to get them a symptom-free cycle and to help them get sustainable weight loss, which is exactly why we are here today. And I hope like you're asking questions. I'm not looking at the chat box now, but make sure you ask the questions because I want to be able to support you. So with that, are you ready to get started? Are you so excited? Be sure to drop something into the comments. Maybe a clap or excitement. I just want to hear it, but let's do this. So secret number 1, and this is huge. And all of these secrets that I'm going to share with you, they cannot be done in isolation. You have to do all 3 to be able to really accomplish that symptom-free cycle. And each one is equally important, but you have to start with secret number 1, which is you need to identify the root cause of your symptoms. So you know exactly how to support them and you can put them into remission. So I'm sure you've heard these myths before, and these are the myths that hold us back. Your symptoms are normal. PMS is common and unavoidable. It's normal to gain weight as you age. It's normal to be tired because you're a mom. Sound familiar? Well, these are absolutely false. And the biggest myth is that our symptoms, and when I say our, I would say female, but most symptoms in general have been normalized and gaslighted. And there's actually a boatload of research that shows that women's symptoms are more likely to be ignored or gaslighted by a physician compared to men's. So that's also awful. And the reality is that is any symptom that you're experiencing or kind of what's happening in your body, they are signs of hormone imbalance. And so the lesson that we learn from this is that symptoms are not just a nuisance and something that you want to avoid, but they truly are your body's way of asking for support. And if you ignore them, if you try to mask them with Band-Aid solutions, diets, gimmicks, it's only going to create more trauma for your body. For example, if you take Motrin to get through your cramps every single month, that actually leads to gastric disruption. If you are taking hormonal birth control every single month to just get rid of your period because it's so awful you can't bear it, it actually is putting synthetic hormones into your body and leading to a chemical imbalance. If you're restricting nutrients to try to, get a certain aesthetic, you're actually depriving your body of what it needs. And so rather than masking our symptoms or just trying to avoid them or get through them, you have to analyze your symptom patterns because that's going to allow you to link them to what's exactly going on in your body or the hormonal disruption and gives you the strategy of where you can support. So how is this accomplished? This is accomplished by learning the role that each hormone plays in your body, and not just the role of that hormone, but when it happens in your cycle. And if there's an imbalance with that particular hormone, how does it impact function and how does it impact every other system in your body? Because your body is like a game of dominoes, which I don't know if people actually play dominoes anymore, but your body is like that. So if you tip over one domino, so think of one domino as a symptom. If you tip that over, it's going to tip over all the rest of them, right? The same is true with your body. If you have a symptom that is showing that there's some kind of system disruption, it's going to then leak into the other systems in your body and lead to further disruption. To accomplish this, you also have to track and assess your monthly symptoms and identify gaps in your needs, right? So you can't just say you have cramps and call it that. You have to understand when you have cramps, the intensity, what time in your cycle, how long did they last? Was it correlated with any other kind of symptom? Because that's when you can start to connect the dots between, okay, well, this symptom is correlated with this hormonal fluctuation at this time. And so this is occurring. And when you do this, then you're able to use your symptoms and your cycle as a report card to measure your success and to constantly adapt in an ever-changing environment. And this is the biggest thing that I want to leave you with, is that hormone balance is not a state that you accomplish and then you're done. I wish that would be too easy. We have a new hormone cycle every single month, and we have different stressors and things that happen all throughout your month that impact exactly how you feel. And so it's an ever-changing environment, and we constantly have to address our symptoms, assess them, and adapt to meet our body's ever-changing needs, because it is fluid and we have to be fluid with it. So the more that you have this understanding and knowledge and expertise, the more you are going to be able to support your body through the constant changes that you're going to experience in life. Because the reality is, where you're at now is not where you're going to be in a year and another year. And then you might go through, prenatal, postpartum, first child, perimenopause, menopause. Those are huge and very different hormonal shifts. And so we have to know exactly what's going on in our body so we can be able to support that. So the takeaway from secret number 1 is that to get a symptom-free cycle and to boost metabolic function, you have to know exactly how to support your body, and you have to become the expert. And this means understanding how to interpret your symptoms, understanding what your hormones mean at a very base level, and being able to, with authority and confidence, say, I know what's happening and I know how to take action. And this is exactly what happened to one of my clients, Tori. Her success story is amazing. When we first started to connect and started the coaching process, she was really struggling. She was on hormonal birth control, but she was constantly exhausted. She still had symptoms of PMS, even on birth control. And she couldn't lose weight. And she really was just frustrated because she felt like she was doing everything right, but nothing was changing. And after giving her the education and giving her that expertise, and she became the master of her own cycle, she's actually been able to successfully transition off of birth control, which is amazing. Her first cycles were perfect, which we love. And she's energized. She understands how to support her body and what's happening at each phase. And more importantly for her, and this is huge, is that she is no longer controlled by her anxiety. And on hormonal birth control and even off, she really struggled with anxiety. And I can absolutely relate. But now she understands what's happening. Her anxiety attacks no longer control her, but she's able to control them. She's able to respond and support. And it's been a godsend for her. She's just killed it. So secret number 2. So recap, secret number 1 is really focusing on making sure that you understand the root cause of your symptoms. Once you understand that, secret number 2 is you need to sync your nutrition to match your hormonal needs. So that way you can burn fat fast and change your body. And so the myths that hold us back from accomplishing this is, I'm sure you've heard, the fewer calories that you eat, the more fat that you'll lose. I'm sure you heard that carbs are not good for you. I'm sure you've heard that intermittent fasting is great for weight loss. And the truth is, all of these are incorrect. And because most diets, even their most well-researched ones that are available and promoted out on the market, are not tested on women's subjects. And I'm going to say that again, and I'm going to let that sink in. It wasn't until 1993 that women were actually included in research studies for medications, as well as diets and fitness programs. Even after 1993, most research that you are going to read only assesses women at one single point of their cycle compared to the whole month. And the reason that they were excluded, researchers said, which I kind of get, but it's awful, is that they said the hormonal fluctuations that a woman experiences throughout her cycle creates too much variability And so they were unable to test in a controlled manner. So what does that mean in not sciencey terms? It means that the diets that people are promoting out there are not designed for women. They're not designed for your cycle. They're definitely then not designed for your unique needs. And failure to account for your hormonal needs is going to destroy your system and lead to symptoms. So the lesson that we learn with secret number 2 is that under eating and this idea of caloric deficit to get fat loss actually leads to nutrient gaps. And when we think about the fact that women have a 28-day hormone cycle, that to actually accomplish hormone health and to make sure that your fluctuating hormones over the course of that month are supported so you can have optimal production and filtration, is that you need specific nutrients to be able to move those biochemical pathways forward. But when you don't have those nutrients because you've been depriving your body to get that caloric deficit, it leads to metabolic and system disruption. And when your metabolic function is slowed because it's in conservation mode rather than in optimal mode, when your organ function has been shut down or depleted due to nutrient deficiencies, that leads to hormone imbalances, stored fat rather than fat utilization. It leads to weight gain and it leads to symptoms. And it's important to note here that hormones are created in response to systems. So if you have a system disruption, then the hormones that were supposed to be produced by that system are going to be either inappropriate amounts, not enough, or it's going to lead to poor filtration of that hormone out of the body, depending on the system, all of which is why you don't feel great, why you can't lose weight, even though you're eating less or eating healthy. So how do we fix this? You have to focus on adapting your nutrient intake. So that means your calories and the food type with each cycle phase, because at each cycle phase, there's a different hormone fluctuation. Each hormone has a different nutrient need. And so you have to meet that nutrient gap to make sure that that system is optimized. You have to focus on rebuilding metabolic function rather than destroying it by strategically reintroducing nutrients to balance your hormones. And the biggest thing, we talked about this in our challenge this week, but it's so important. When you chronically undereat, your body doesn't get better at using fat, it gets better at storing fat. And if you chronically undereat, your body's just going to hold on to everything. So you have to start giving it food so you can rebuild its trust with you so that it knows, oh, I am getting enough energy to be able to do what I need to do and what she's asking me to do of it every day. And when that happens, that's when hormone production and filtration starts to boost. You also have very different energy needs at each cycle phase to help boost hormone production and filtration. So you have to adapt your energy intake to meet your hormonal status. So that means you can't eat the same amount of food every single day and expect results, or you can't be in the same exact deficit every single day because that's actually going to disrupt hormones. And finally, the biggest one is you have to eat at regular intervals to stabilize hormones and optimize fat burn. And this is huge. No fasting, no gaps, because that leads to hormone disruption. So the takeaway here is that you cannot starve your body. You cannot restrict nutrients. You cannot cut out food groups blindly. Doing that is going to lead to nutrient gaps and your body shutting down. And this is the exact reason that you have symptoms, the exact reason that you cannot lose any weight. So your focus needs to be introducing the right nutrients at the right time and boosting your metabolic function so your body can heal and do what you're asking of it. And this is what happened to my client, Emily, and her stories. I mean, not my favorite, but one of my favorites for sure. So when we first got connected, she was struggling with bloating, weight gain, horrible PMS, and was a little bit of a cardio junkie and definitely had done the whole under eating, trying to lose weight, but not seeing any results. I'm grateful to say that I have supported Emily through her wedding, or through her engagement, through her wedding. And now she is 20 weeks pregnant. We came off hormonal birth control. We actually focused on metabolic rehab and boosting her caloric intake. And in doing so, that's when she lost weight by eating more food and learning how to support her body at each cycle phase and changing how she worked out. Now she has no hormonal symptoms, barely any pregnancy symptoms, and she feels great. And it's just amazing. And finally, secret number 3. So recapping, because I know it's a lot. Number 1, you got to get to the root cause. Number 2, you need to boost metabolic function and focus on syncing your nutrient intake with your cycle needs. Number 3 is you have to sync your workouts so that you can efficiently work out without exhausting your body and derailing your life. And there's a lot of misconceptions about working out there around, and I feel grateful. I am a certified personal trainer, but my husband's actually the expert. He's an exercise physiologist and a certified strength and conditioning specialist. So he educates me a lot. But there's a lot of myths around how to work out and what's the most appropriate. And so I'm sure you've heard the more calories you burn in a workout, the more fat you burn. Fasted cardio is the best way to burn fat. Ooh, I was a fasted cardio junkie. And then also the big one is you need to work out every single day to see results. And again, this is not true. And the biggest takeaway here is that your body cannot differentiate between positive and negative stress. And while exercise is a positive stressor because it's great for our health, it's great for cardiovascular health, it improves anxiety, it improves hormone function. If your body is already in a very stressed state, the stress induced by exercise will actually lead to more symptoms and weight gain. So how we work out, how we move your body, how we introduce exercise is crucial. So the lesson we learn from this is that your hormones directly impact your body's ability to burn fat and work out. So the hormonal fluctuations that I spoke about through each hormone phase. And the idea that burning more calories, it's not actually an effective workout at each phase of your cycle. There are times like during your ovulatory phase that your body is more primed to handle the intense workload, which would then result in a higher caloric burn. But this is not always true. So if you're training the same exact way all month long, you're not going to see results. So you should not be doing the same workouts and intensities every day. And by doing so, that leads to an increased stress response, which leads to an increased fat storage. Same idea, when you chronically undereat, your body becomes super stressed out and it holds fat. Same is true if you chronically overwork your body and in combination with your undereating, your body's like, she's demanding so much energy from me. I don't have enough intake each and every day, so I'm going to hold all these fat stores. And I'm not going to be efficient at burning that fat. Oh, no. I'm going to use just the tip, like just scrape off the top of that fat store each and every day, the least amount that I can use so that she can still make it through her day and her workout, but she's not going to be happy with the results. That's what's happening in your body. So how do we fix this? So it takes cyclic-based training that builds on your hormonal state. And it's interesting because I actually posted about this today right before the webinar. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see, on Instagram, you're going to see, do this type, walk during your follicular phase, do HIIT cardio during your ovulatory phase. But that's not enough. You have to moderate your intensity and duration to maximize results. But more importantly, you have to have a combination of strength, cardio, and restorative movement all month long to make sure that there is enough frequency and duration on your muscles to force adaptation. So we need just enough frequency and just enough intensity to support hormones and push the stress so that it's positive on your body, but less is more. So this is why you don't need to spend countless hours in the gym. This is why you don't need to actually work out 7 days a week. And typically you'll find that even 2 to 3 is more than enough. It's because we are working out smarter, not harder. So you don't need to spend countless hours in the gym. You don't need to push your body to the max every single time, but you do need to understand how to work out in alignment with your hormonal needs and how to moderate that intensity and frequency so that you can maximize result and force adaptation. And when you do so, you can build lean mass. And the more lean mass that you have in your body, the higher your metabolic rate, the less fat there is. And that's when you can eat more, do less, and have that lean aesthetic that you've always desired, is because you're actually nourishing the system at its core. And this is where one of my clients, Sarah, really strived. Is she struggled with PCOS, which is a diagnosable hormonal imbalance, polycystic ovarian syndrome. She had a loss of cycle. She also was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and she was exhausted all the time. She had cravings, and she didn't really understand how she could incorporate nutrition and fitness to support her needs, to support her symptoms, and actually see results. And in just a month of changing how she approached her nutrition and how she even moved her body, which she found out that moving and working out less was more efficient, she was energized throughout her day. Her cycle has actually returned within a month. Her cycle returned and is regular. And now she knows how to nourish her body. And she saw an amazing, crazy amount of weight loss and inflammation change. And she doesn't have cravings, and she knows how to move her body, and she feels empowered by food and fitness for the first time in her life. So what we covered today, like I said, it was a lot. It's a whirlwind. It's that first secret is you need to identify the root cause of your symptoms, and you need to know exactly how to support them so that you can put them into remission. You need to understand how to sync your nutrition up with your hormonal needs so that you can burn fat fast and change your body. And you need to understand how to sync your workouts with your hormones so that you can work out efficiently without exhausting your body and derailing your life. Because let's face it, you're busy. You don't have time to spend all that time in the gym. We covered a lot today, but there's actually still so much left to cover. So maybe drop in the comments a little clap, or, say, are you still with me? Because this is really important and we're getting to the nitty-gritty here. You signed up today because you dream of being able to ditch your PMS for good. You're here because you're interested in learning about your cycle and you want to be able to support your body. You want to be able to lose weight. You want to see results. You're looking for a solution, and you're tired of feeling hopeless and alone while everyone else seems to have it all figured out. But you're not sure how to make it happen on your own. And that's why you're here today, is you came to learn and to grow. And I want you to know you're here because you seek the same guidance that I did, and I've been there before. Remember, I had debilitating symptoms with no solution. I was told that medication was my only option. I had the expertise, I had the clinical knowledge, but what traditional nutrition, diet, and advice is offering was not right for my body, and it's not right for our hormonal needs. I had anxiety that crippled my life and relationships. I had constant weight gain, even though I ate healthy and followed all that traditional diet advice. And I remember feeling so frustrated that I wanted to be able to break away from the restriction and the diet culture and retrain how I approached food and my health and my body and self-love, but couldn't quite figure out how. All the while, y'all, which I know is one of the biggest things I hear from clients, is that we're too busy. And I did this all while I was working 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job. And I barely had time to socialize, let alone focus on what I ate or how to get to the gym, how to meal prep. If you know me, you know I do not cook for hours. You know I don't cook in general. I hate to cook. So I totally get it. I really do, which is why I dedicated my life's work to this. It's why I've created something for you, and it's why you're here today. I want you to know that this program and what I'm about to share with you is not for you if you're unwilling to change and you don't want to learn. But I think because you're here, it is perfect for you because you're ready for change and growth. And the fact that you even logged on today, whether it's live or whether you're watching this, in the future, the fact that you even dedicated time to step away from your busy life, your other responsibilities, to learn shows that you want it and you want that change. And it shows that you're really desiring to live symptom-free and to ditch diet culture for good. And it shows that you value yourself and you value your health and wellness. So I want to know if it'd be okay if I shared something with you today, and I'm so excited to share it. But I have finally released our first ever e-course, which is called the Symptom Solution. And it is the accumulation of years of everything I've talked to you about, of understanding these secrets and giving you the knowledge, the power to be able to not only understand exactly what's happening in your body, and you don't need a clinical nutrition degree to be able to do so, but giving you the authority and the knowledge and the power to be able to address your symptoms, to learn how to support your body for life so you can take control of your health. And my vision when I created this really was, you don't have to settle for symptoms. You don't have to settle for exhaustion. You don't have to be frustrated. You deserve more and you deserve a solution. And I remember feeling so abandoned by my physicians, by the other registered dietitians in my community, in my, collaborative networks, because nobody could help me get to the solution. And this is why I created the Symptom Solution. And it's simple, really. You can become symptom-free without restricting your diet, without Band-Aid solutions, because we focus on going in depth and we focus on giving you the exercise, the experience, the knowledge, so that you can get results and proven results to balance your hormones. Sorry, that's my dog Mookie. He's scratching in the background. So I know this sounds amazing, and I want to share what's included with you, because the biggest thing I valued when designing this was making sure that there was the support that I wish I would have had along the way. So it includes a whole e-course education, and I'm talking 6 or 7 modules. And each lesson, each e-course video includes both a video and audio lessons, and it's facilitated by myself, and it's under 15 minutes. So it includes slides for you to follow along, but it's 15 minutes because I know you're busy and I know you don't have time to sit through an hour-long course. If you really wanted to do that, you would probably take a course at a JC. That's not the point of this. This is to get you the solutions and the education that you need, but to do so that fits in your life in just 15 minutes. It also includes a ton of worksheets, and these are just a couple examples of a few that are in there to help you track your cycle, to understand exactly what's happening, to be able to understand, this is what my symptom is telling me, this is how I support it, to give you meal planning tips, meal templates, exercise support, everything that you would need to be successful. It also includes a weekly newsletter to help you stay accountable, because I think that's one of the biggest things. Is it's easy to get discouraged when we take things on by ourselves and we feel a little lost and frustrated. I don't want you to feel alone, and I don't want you to feel lost or frustrated. So that's why I have weekly emails to help you stay accountable and to understand exactly what to expect each week, what's going to be coming out, and then so that you can ask questions. But there's more. On top of this, I really wanted to make it a fruitful experience. So I've included a number of bonuses, which include live group sessions. If you know me, I don't do group coaching. I typically only do one-on-one sessions, but I wanted to be able to provide live group coaching sessions every single week, where it's an Ask Me Anything call for 30 minutes, where you can jump in, ask any questions, and get support. Also, you'll be surrounded by your community members and everybody else who is engaged. So you'll get that behind the scenes access to my strategies for success and to support you through your journey. Also, it will have an exclusive members community. This is going to be something that's only open to those who are enrolled, and it's an opportunity for you to ask questions. I will be moderating it, giving answers, maybe sharing recipes, but it's also an opportunity to keep you accountable and to get all the support you need. And while I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to answer every single question as they come in, I'm going to be personally answering as many as I can. And I know if you joined me in the challenge, You saw just how diligent I was in trying to answer your emails and communicate and keep those lines open. But with that, I also wanted to offer a space where you still have unlimited email support with me. And this is something only my clients typically get. And so maybe you have a more personalized question or a more private question that you don't want to ask in the live group coaching calls or in the Thinkific community, then this is an opportunity to email me directly and we will troubleshoot your habits. And I promise to give you the same time and intention that I give all of my clients and make sure it's a well-researched response to guide you in the right direction. My husband always jokes and laughs at me, but it will sometimes take me about 40 minutes to respond to a client email. And it's sometimes a dissertation, but I want you to know that how much I care. I value the research and the education, and I want you to feel supported every step of the way, because that support and that community was something I always wanted and didn't have, and it's going to make a difference in your success. And this is what happened with Morgan, and she was amazing. She actually is a competitive Olympic lifter. And really, when we came together, she was struggling with her PMS, her anxiety, low thyroid, and she couldn't see results from her program. She couldn't see results from her training, and it was affecting her competition. And after 1 month of working together, she was energized. She saw the most results that she had seen in a year of training. She killed her first competition. She's confident and she knows how to support her symptoms. And all the while, during these moments where she was having a lot of anxiety and she was having a lot of, frustration around her symptoms and how her body didn't feel well, she took advantage of that opportunity to reach out for me for support. And I coached her through all of that and really gave her perspective and the education to look at things and approach her health in a different way. And she said that was probably the most impactful thing. And she had never learned or thought to think of her health in that way. And being able to do so and troubleshoot that anxiety was probably the most freeing thing. So the symptom solution, like I said, it is all comprehensive. I wanted to make sure that you had everything that you would need to be able to support your body to live symptom-free, to be the expert. So there are 6 lessons, sorry guys, 6 lessons in this, and each lesson has sub lessons. So it's not just one and done, but lesson 1 has sub lessons under that, 2, 3, 4. And really it's focusing on you becoming the master of your own cycle. So I'm going to give you the education so that you are an expert in your hormones and identifying hormone imbalances and knowing what's happening at each month of your cycle phases. Lesson 2, we really focus on identifying your unique imbalances. And we clearly establish your current hormonal state so you can understand the root causes behind your disruption. So you know in the next lessons to come how you need to support your body. Lesson 3 is where we get real in depth, and I give you my fail-proof cycle syncing framework that teaches you how to successfully utilize nutrition, fitness, and calendar planning to live in alignment with your hormonal needs. And it's not just about nutrition and fitness. It's also about how you work, how you socialize, how you rest. I'm going to teach you all of that so you can start integrating those habits into your routine ASAP. And this formula is the secret to living symptom-free and energized all month long. I cannot tell you, the minute I started to work, like i.e. work in alignment with my hormone cycle, my productivity increased tenfold because I no longer was trying to force my body and my mind to do something that it wasn't good at the certain time of the month, but I was able to plan around it. And that is the most empowering thing, where work no longer became a chore and it was something that was exciting. Lesson 4 is I dive into my proven real world strategies to give you the tools to live in the real world. And yes, I mean, how do you enjoy alcohol? How do you enjoy dessert? How do you go out? How do you travel while keeping your hormones in check? And how do we do so in a way that doesn't make you feel guilty, that doesn't make you feel like you've fallen off the wagon? Because hormone balancing is not a diet. It's not a program. This is a lifestyle. And this is going to become so ingrained in you that you just do this second nature. Lesson 5, I talk about how to avoid hormone landmines and kind of break down some of what is a hormonal disruptor? What do you actually need to avoid? How do you successfully avoid them without hyper focusing on the wrong areas and strategies. And how do we do so in a way that's economically feasible? Because I don't know about y'all, but I cannot afford to eat at whole food, organic, grass-fed all the time and avoid all the things. That's not realistic. So how do we be realistic with this? And then our final lesson is, how do we continue to assess our body? It's a cycle report card. And how do we continue to track our symptoms and assess our hormonal status over the course of each month, each year, so that we can do this for life? And like I said, this is probably the most exciting thing, but enrollment is open today. Carts are live today. This is only it's a 1-month course program, and it's only offered at specific points in time. So enrollment opens today. It closes on June 17th, and we have our kickoff on June 20th. I might be wrong on my dates, pardon pregnancy brain, but that's what I remember. And so starting June 20th, the course is going to be open for enrollment and active, but once it's over, it's over. And you can visit. This is going to be linked in our website. It will also be linked in the email I sent out afterwards, but happyhormonehealthllc.thinkific.com to get started. So everything that is included, you get the e-course, you get the video trainings, you get the slides, you get all of the worksheets, you get a downloadable video version. I can't imagine listening to me all the time, but that's crazy. Not to mention a student-only community, not to mention 4 live group coaching calls, so 1 per week, and unlimited virtual support. Y'all, this is the most comprehensive thing that I have ever released. And I'm so excited for it. And it's going to be amazing. But I wanted to say thank you for your time. And I wanted to not reward you, but like give you a bonus thank you for being here, for listening to me. So if you sign up by midnight tomorrow, so that's June 8th, then I will also throw in a free customized nutrition program without coaching. But so this is the same programming, so customized macro plan and meal plan written by yours truly that I offer my one-on-one clients. So if you enroll within the next 24 hours, you're going to have that on top of the symptoms solution. So you will have literally a foolproof recipe for success in this first month, and to be able to move and make that first journey towards living symptom-free. So this is where you are now. You're struggling with PMS, exhaustion. You just want to feel like yourself again. But after the symptom solution, you're going to be able to live symptom-free, and you're going to have the energy to get through your day. You're going to crush your goals. You're going to feel amazing in your body. And you have a choice right now. And this is probably one of the most important choices that we make about our health every single day. Path 1, which is probably the path that you've been on for a while, is that you're just trying to figure it out on your own. And in that process, you've wasted a lot of time, wasted a lot of money, and a lot of energy and emotional wellness, I would even say, trying to put all the pieces together. And I remember going through that journey, and I know how hard that journey was. And I have an advanced degree in clinical nutrition. And so that is hard. And that is not something that you should have to go through. And that is why I'm offering you path number 2, which is I want to give you the support and the guidance and the accountability that you need to succeed without the stress. Like, no more guessing, no more throwing spaghetti at a wall, hoping that it's right for your health, but actually doing more damage, getting to the root of it. And this is just I loved getting this quote. One of my clients said she's been following the program for 3 weeks. And in that 3rd week, she started her first cycle since the program. And it was night and day. I felt like a whole new person. I just can't believe it. You are so amazing, and I owe you your knowledge so much. And it was true. She had struggled for a really long time on her own, trying to piece together the little tidbits that she got from Pinterest or Instagram, or even from my own Instagram, where I offer free tips. And when we took that moment to put it all together for her and sit down, and I gave her the education and the knowledge so that she understood exactly how to support her body, this just happened in 3 weeks. And it's life-changing. So again, I want to thank you so much for being here. I didn't think it was going to take me the full hour, but it did. You deserve to feel amazing. If you leave with anything today, you deserve to feel amazing. Your symptoms are not normal. They are signs of that your body needs support, and you should not settle for Band-Aid solutions, and you should take control of your health. And so I really, encourage you to sign up for this opportunity. I'm excited to support you through it. But I wanted to take a moment here at the end to answer any questions that you might have. So you are in webinar mode. So I can't hear you and you can't unmute yourself. But if you have any questions, drop them into the chat box. I didn't pre-prep any questions. That's what you're supposed to do for these fancy webinars. I didn't do that. But yes, so just to recap, the symptom solution carts are open now. Carts will close on June 17th, and our kickoff is June 20th. And during that first week, I think that Tuesday, the next day, we'll have our first live group call. We'll get everything set up, and you will have support all the way through. So this program will run until about July 20th or the end of July. So I'm really excited for that. Okay. And one new question. Kelsey asked, you've talked about metabolic rehabilitation. Does that mean your nutrition and fitness to be in line to help your body? Yes. So metabolic rehab and cycle syncing nutrition go hand in hand. So you have to rebuild your metabolic function by reintroducing nutrients to your body and reintroducing caloric density to your body. But if it's not in alignment with your hormonal fluctuations and the metabolic impact that your hormones have on your metabolism, then there's a disconnect, right? So you can hear people say that you're going to go through, you can increase your calories, but if your body's in a very stressed state, so if your body is chronically underfed and super stressed, if you just start eating more food, what do you think is going to happen? You're just going to gain weight because that's all your body knows, and your body doesn't trust you, and your hormones aren't balanced. So you need to focus on strategically moving through metabolic rehabilitation in alignment with cycle synced nutrition to heal your hormonal imbalances and system imbalances, to boost function, and to get your body into a space where it says, I now feel supported. I now am safe. I can now optimize fat burn. So Marcia asked how much the program costs, and is it a monthly membership? It is $297, and it is not a monthly membership. So it is just a one-time fee, but you have lifetime access to the materials. So the coaching portion of it will only go for the live 30 days. However, once that's done, you will always have access to the worksheets, to the modules, to the recordings. And that's where it's really impactful, is because you're going to be supporting your body, like I said, every single month, because your hormonal status changes every single month. So to be able to re-download the worksheets, to review some of the topics and continue to be an expert, this is how you become independent and how you live symptom-free for your entire life. Great questions, y'all. All right. With that, I am going once on questions. Going twice. Ooh. So Jasmine asked, will the course only be offered once? As of right now, yes. And it will only be offered in this way, in this capacity, for right now. As I alluded to earlier, I'm giving birth to my baby in August. So we might offer this course again later in the fall, but I don't know if it would include the same bonuses. So if you really want to take full advantage of the coaching and the accountability and the community, I would absolutely say sign up now. Perfect. Well, thank you all. Oh, Crow, this is actually a great question. It sounds like you must quit hormonal birth control to do this. That terrifies me. I'm done having children. You do not have to quit hormonal birth control, actually. I have hundreds of clients that have stayed on hormonal birth control because the key is, and that's one of the modules too, we talk about how hormonal birth control impacts your body, is hormonal birth control isn't necessarily the enemy. And you see that a lot on Instagram. And, I even apologize for maybe alluding to that's the problem. It's really important to understand that hormonal birth control does not balance your hormones. It masks them. And the intake of synthetic hormone impacts your body, right? So when we understand your hormones as they are without hormonal birth control, and then when we understand how hormonal birth control impacts your body and some of the side effects that are common as a result of its intake, then you can be strategic in supporting your body so that you don't have the side effects, so that you don't have the synthetic hormone buildup, and so that you can stay on hormonal birth control so you can get pregnancy or, prevention without compromising your health, your metabolic health, and your hormonal needs. And that's one of the most amazing things is I don't want to villainize hormonal birth control here. But we want to make sure that your body is supported. And like some of the biggest side effects of hormonal birth control are nutrient gaps, are estrogen dominance, or disrupted gut biome. So being able to support those and be strategic in that support is huge. So no, you do not have to get off of hormonal birth control to be a part of this. Also, if you have had a lot of clients ask like, well, I've gone through menopause or I'm in the process, and you actually still want to eat in alignment with your hormone cycles throughout menopause and throughout that change, because even though your body isn't producing hormones in the same level, it's still producing hormones. It's just at a lower amount, and it still moves in that cyclic manner. So being able to understand what happens through menopause and then supporting it from that stage is huge. So, yay, Mariah, you already signed up. I love that. So not prior to the June 20th, you will not have access to anything. However, since you already got the bonus, we will be in touch, reaching out to you directly to get you started with setting up your coaching and getting your nutrition program written. So that's exciting. I love that. Yay. And then Kelsey asks, how is this course different than your guidebook? So the guidebook is probably the most preliminary level of this, where I talk about it, I give you education, but it's just the surface. This course dives even deeper, more information, more worksheets, obviously the coaching bonuses, right? But really, I dive into the nitty gritty, and it's because at the core of this, hormone balance and nutrition is an extremely complex science. A lot of advanced biochemical pathways and things that you just can't communicate in a guidebook. And so having the opportunity for me to communicate it over a video and to provide that in-depth education and kind of move you through more of a stepwise process, that's how you're able to take in all of this biochemistry and become a hormone expert without needing to go to 7 years of college to be able to do that, and taking a ton of biochemistry and advanced courses. So I always say that like my best recommendation is, the blueprint is a great support to coaching, but if you really want to become an expert and you want long lasting results, like this education is how you're going to get there. Yeah, these questions are great. And I'm so appreciative of you all and your time. I know we're all extremely busy. So thank you for loaning me an hour. Also, thank yourself for giving yourself an hour to dedicate to your health. And oh my gosh, I almost forgot. I wanted to say, for those who were in the challenge, I do have the challenge winners. Dun, 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 drum roll. So I did a challenge last week. It was amazing. I thank you all for your participation. But our challenge winners were Shanna B, Courtney M, and Stephanie F. So if that was you and you're watching, I will be sending an email shortly letting you know. But thank you all for your time. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and I hope to see you very, very soon. All right, bye, y'all.